So, hello, guys. My name is Swamp Rose. If you don't know who I am, if you are returning, thank you for being here. Christy, thank you for calling me right now. I appreciate it. I think I know why. Hold on a second. Okay, so anyway, let's start this over. So, I think I have a great show for you tonight. So, um, I'm just doing kind of a true crime talk show tonight. If this is your first time here, I'm just talking about the Idaho Ford case. I'm hoping to cover some other things besides the Idaho 4, but I have some great new evidence to show you, things that I haven't gone over before. So I thought I'd do that tonight, and then tomorrow when I do my live stream, I think we'll incorporate a couple other new things. But let me skip forward on this to this slide. Actually, let me take this down. So I released a video recently. I'm going to show you the picture. I released a video recently going over this camera, which is the 712 camera on Queen Road. And I was thinking, I don't want to play the whole video, but I want to play a portion of it. And then what I've done is one of my subscribers, Mikey S, has sent me a website that has kind of a virtual tour of the outside. So I was thinking I could show you the camera and where it's located. And then I can jump onto this website and show you exactly the angle. I mean, it's a precise angle, so you would see exactly where this camera would have been angled. So I'm going to just start by presenting my screen. Hold on. Okay, so I'm at my channel, and it's this one if you want to come back to my channel, this most recent video. Have you seen this photograph of the 712 camera? A camera that will likely be used in evidence against Brian Kohlberger in his upcoming trial. Okay, so hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Swamp Rose, and this video features adult content. I'd love for you to subscribe. So this story was, okay, cameras that may have captured evidence on November 13th, 2022. Early on, Chronicles of Olivia alluded to a camera which had full view of the 1122 King Road home and its backyard. This camera was also alluded to by Olivia, Kaylee's older sister, when she said she viewed footage of Maddie and Kaylee being dropped off by the private driver. It was further alluded to by Steve G, saying that he had seen the footage.
Before we can talk about the Idaho 4 because, I've done a lot of lives on that. So it's up to you wherever you want to go with this. I'll follow you.
Well, I mean, if you're asking where I want to go with this live stream, I can just tell you after some of our email interactions, I went back and Robert says he's having severe weather where he is. Robert, I don't know what's going on, but be careful. I don't know if it's tornadoes or anything, but I know you're in Central Time Zone, so be careful out there. And anyone else listening who's having the severe weather as well. I watched a live stream that I don't know if it was one you suggested to me, but it was one on your channel regarding cameras that are near and around the 1122 King Road home. You also went over sort of what each angle they would have picked up and the sound. And the particular one I was listening to, you were doing a tour of the inside of the house, but you were specifically doing the first floor and what might possibly be heard in Bethany's room and what kinds of things Bethany might have done in reaction to hearing those noises. And
Olivia got to them before the police did. You know what I mean? It seems like she was on the crime. She was already telling.
Okay, so I'm going to stop there. We're going to keep playing it, but I want to show you, get this comment down. I want to, well, no, I'm going to play a little bit further until 12 gauge is done explaining it, and then I'll show you the picture. We'll wait till he shows Gray Hugh's picture, and then I'll show you the one that I got.
The media, everything that she had found, you know, she knew that the timeline was messed up. She saw her sister get out. The rideshare driver said that he didn't see them go in the house, but he dropped them off, and you know, all that stuff. I believe that the cat triggered this camera right here, the 52. This is the one that's in the is it in the PPT where it says the cat triggered the camera and it spotted suspect vehicle number 1?
Now, I'd just like to read you this highlighted part of the PCA. It says, a review of the footage of multiple videos obtained from the King Road neighborhood showed multiple sightings of suspect vehicle starting at 3:29 a.m., ending at 4:20 a.m. These
I'm
sightings...
just going to pause just because I think it's really important. So Robert is confirming there are tornado warnings where they are. And so all of you who are out there, you know, in the Midwest, we're thinking about you. Be safe. Listen to the warnings. Don't think twice. And yeah, we'll say a little prayer for you all tonight.
show suspect vehicle 1 makes an initial 3 passes by the 1122 King Road residence and then leaves via Willenta Drive. Based on my experience as a patrol officer, this residential neighborhood with a very limited number of vehicles that travel in this area during the early morning hours. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during that time frame. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a 4th time, approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping and turning around in front of the 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle number 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park and turn in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen.
What do you think that is? I just want to stop for a second. I've been thinking about this a lot, and just, you know, Robert, if you're not reading the chat, if you're listening right now, lots of people are sending you prayers and prayers to all of our friends in the Midwest. Hey, Jeff, nice to see you. Jeff, 12 Gauge and I finally got together for that that live stream. I hope you caught it. So in this PCA, oh, Pia's here. My gosh, Pia, it's been so long. Thanks for stopping by. I hope that means that we're all good friends and back together in the chat. So it's really good to see all of you together. So I wanted to talk about this line in the PCA that they were talking about, and I'm going to rewind. Sorry, I lost my words.
It appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park and turn in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again, park and turn in the road, and driving back westbound on King Road. When suspect vehicle number 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appears to unsuccessfully attempt to park and turn in the
in the road, it says.
Road.
So it attempts to unsuccessfully park and turn in the road. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm gonna show you where that was and what that would have looked like. So again, Mikey S sent me this really complete virtual tour that I've been kind of referencing through all my research, but let me make sure you guys can see that okay. So this, I believe, is the view that the 712 camera would have had. And I'm actually it's like a little bit, I think maybe a little bit closer to the front of the King Road residence, but it's near to where the angle would have been. and I'll show you where the camera is. I'm going to take myself out of the screen, so you're not going to hear what I'm saying, but I'm going to tilt it. First, let me show you the picture. I'm going to tilt it so you're going to see this. You're going to see this. So you're going to see the, just keep your eyes out for the big brown building on the right and the flagpole on the left. Okay. Okay, so the reason I did that is I just want to talk about like what could that have meant in the PCA. So it appeared that it almost parked in front of the King Road residence and then did a 3-point turn. And so I'd love to know what you think, what could possibly cause someone to do that, whoever it is in that Elantra. One thing that I was thinking of is like, well, the knife sheath, if it's not a red herring, if it wasn't left there to throw someone off, could somebody have just all of a sudden gone, oh my gosh, I left the knife sheath, and went to park and then said, you know what, I'll take the risk, and left? I don't know why somebody would have turned. Maybe it was somebody who turned, they thought they could go the other way down the dead end street and then realized. Anyway, just a couple thoughts I'm throwing out there. I'd love to know your thoughts. And I'm going to keep playing this this video. Wait, hold on. I have no idea where the... What showed up today? Did we get new documents today? Come on. Does anyone remember hearing that someone asked these people about a camera and they said it was something they added after the crime? Which ones? Because there's another house too that has like a ring camera that's like a, screws in, and I don't know which camera. Hold on. But if you can if you can find something, I'll put it up. If you can update us, if somebody has come out and debunked that camera, let's debunk it. It's Boston in the background. So there's a little bit of the Sachem Bridge and a little bit of the Boston Garden. I just picked Boston because it's the closest major city. It's kind of a boring reason. All right, let me keep going.
The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. I think after reading this, it kind of clears one thing up for me, where it says that there are a limited number of vehicles.
On PSS, Swampers, there are multiple ring cams, but do they need warrants for that or no? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. I guess if somebody didn't want to give them over, actually, you know what, Pia, that's a good point, because if it's a Ring doorbell cam, it's stored in the cloud. So like I know with my last ADT system, I had to go retrieve the videos in the cloud. So they might not want to just trust somebody handing over what they have. They might actually want the password and go look inside the cloud and see if, good point. Oh, the Sachem Bridge, that's what it is. Yeah, the Sachem Bridge, I think, is one of the most beautiful bridges in the U.S. Well, we're going to look into that, Heather, because we definitely want to keep it up to date. Thanks for bringing it up to me. I appreciate it. And then I just have another couple minutes of this video, and then I have something I'm making a video on that I want to bring to you guys and hear what you have to say so I can add it to everything I'm looking at. Boston is so pretty, and it is so pretty in the summer. I love it. Although I live like on Cape Cod, so I can't leave Cape Cod right now. It's like, it's not even worth it. It takes like an hour to get off the, it's kind of an island, but it takes like an hour to get off of it. Yes. Heather says it's definitely worth exploring for sure, this camera topic. It's so worth, Heather, you don't like, I know you guys are interested in the chat, but it's hugely interesting to the wider audience. Like everybody really wants to know about the cameras. So yeah, if anyone hears anything, let me know. And you know, just while we're in Boston, I kind of like, it's too bad I haven't covered much of the, or I haven't covered any of the Karen Reed trial, but oh my gosh, if you guys are watching that on other true crime channels, that trial is wild. Like, I have my opinions about it. I'd never share them because people are just so passionate about it on either side. It's crazy. Yeah, let me know in the chat what you think of that Karen Reed trial. It's insane. Yeah, it's scary to see. Oh, Ghost says she's innocent. And Ghost, you're local or local ass like me. Hold on. I think the camera they got the most from is the house in the back. Me too. It would have a straight view into sliding back door. And the reason I think that too, Christy, is because of the comment that we hear about, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to get like excited, you know, at a comment like that. We heard the comment that from Olivia, Kaylee's older sister, that she saw the picture of Kaylee walking her dog in the backyard. I mean, there's a small angle into the backyard from what we were just looking at. You can't really see, and let me just make sure you guys can see that. You can't really see. But I do have reason to believe that I want to show you guys something that why I think this camera would be important facing the front of the house. We're going to play the rest of the video, but I want to present a little presentation I made for you guys tonight. All right, so, oh, hold on. How do I do this? All right. There we go. Let me take this down. Oh, hi, American Princess. I love that name. It's cute. Okay, so why would the 712 camera be, or I speculate why it would be important. Let me go back. So I want to show you this photograph right now. And I first saw this when I was on 12 Gauge's live stream. He was just showing me random pictures of evidence, and he pulled up this. I had never seen this before. And let me know in the chat if you've seen this, if you've discussed this, but I personally had never had. And this just goes, I'll tell you what this is in a second, but the whole thing this makes me think of and makes me go back to is the house was the target and why. This is a diagram of the house, evidence number 4. And on it, there are some initials, but it's a literal, I mean, it is what it is. Let me show you another picture of it. And that's them collecting it. And that's her carrying it down, and there's the evidence for marker in the other girl's hand behind her. So why am I showing you this? Of course, I'm baffled by this. I mean, this to me gives a plausible reason why the police might have said the house was the target, but they don't know which person was the target. It's also, if they believe the house was the target, may have been the reason why they lifted that shelter in place so early on, which baffled a lot of people. I think it might have something to do with what's inside of this note. I'm speculating, total speculation, but And then when I look at this picture, this is why I put a lot of weight into that 712 camera. So we've got this investigator looking in what appears to be Bethany Funk's window. And if you go, like, I was looking at this and I'm like, am I looking at Bethany Funk's window? Are they examining her window for fingerprints? And you can see a little piece of red tape on there, which would indicate something, maybe a piece of, I don't know, speculation here, blood spatter, a fingerprint. But now you can see them looking up. Hold on. And what we're looking at here is the apartments that come out on Linda Lane, that little red area. And by the way, all these photos are from Mikey S. Just want to give credit. That little red circle peeking out, that's the 1122 King Road home. And you can see that these investigators are using luminol in that area, which leads me to believe possibly there was still trail evidence going all the way up from the high side of the house. So what am I getting at? I'm wondering if, I'm going to show you another thing. I did a video recently. We're going to finish the other video in a second. I have a video. I'm about to show you a soundbite of a reporter who says that, let me pull it up, who says that the door was open at, were we originally told 3 in the morning? Let me pull it up for you. So let me pause that. So I'm trying to pull all this together for you. Play.
And doing everything they can, including talking to neighbors. I talked to some neighbors who live nearby here too, John, a few hours ago. They told me something that was pretty interesting. We've been talking about that back sliding door so much, but the front door, I'm told by a neighbor who walked by that morning, who was coming back to his apartment, was wide open around 8:39 a.m. He told me that he gave that information to investigators, but we hadn't heard too much about that front door. And around 8:39 a.m. would have been a pretty good amount of time before police ever got the call that those students were dead inside. John.
Okay, so I'm just trying to tie this neatly up as I'm explaining it. So I'm wondering if possibly, let me pull this back. Did the unaliver exit? I can't find a good picture here. Did the unaliver exit through that front? Speculating here, and exited through the front, left the front door open. That's what neighbors saw at 8:30 in the morning. But why are they? What are they looking at by Bethany's window? I'm thinking just some random speculations here. Did the unaliver try to look inside Bethany's window? Did the unaliver go and just saying, did the unaliver go into Bethany's room and she was hiding? Were they looking at something that was coming from the inside? Just all thoughts that I have. Why were they looking at Bethany's room? Why was there evidence tape, like there was blood spatter on the door somewhere? And if we're watching these investigators come from the high side of the house here with the evidence, wouldn't that indicate that's the way that the unaliver came? I don't know. Hold on, let me look at some of your comments because I've been neglecting to read them. Hold on. The cam, I think, next to the house is the one that caught the audio. You know what it makes me think is that leaked audio that we all thought was fake. It's interesting because, okay, so just another random thought I have. What if that audio is real? In that you heard the people, I think, that who belong to the audio say something. What if there was, when we look at the confidential informant or witness, could it have been somebody who heard something and peeked out their window at night? I thought 12 Gauge had good speculation the other night when I was on his show, and he said, what did you say the witness could have been? It could have been just, he was just speculating, but, a young person, if they heard something, what's the first thing they're going to do? Pull out their cell phone and hit record on their video. Could Bethany have, we see that evidence marker on the window because that'd be where Bethany put her phone out the window and recorded something. Just different thoughts here. What? Oh, I did, and I saw how it probably happened where he had his head bent down too. It's terrible. Okay, here's what American Princess says. Amazon Ring will now require a warrant for police to access user video as of January 24th, 2024. It's probably a good idea. Can you imagine if the police knew everyone? That's a huge privacy concern, knowing who's coming and going from your house. I definitely think the whole Google search tells me all I need to know. You know what really got to me, if we're talking about Karen Read, gosh, I said I wasn't going to give an opinion, but I am going to say this. What really got to me was some of the EMTs in what they were saying is it's like, from what I understand in Canton, the police and the EMTs and the fire department don't necessarily all get along, and they're not helping each other, collude to do anything together. So I believe their testimony, not that the two can't be mutually exclusive, not that Karen Read can't be innocent and the EMTs be telling the truth, but if you have to go back and hear the testimony, hear for yourself what they said. And I hope you guys don't come down on me for saying that, because I know the Karen Read supporters are ferociously fighting for her innocence. Oh my gosh. Right. And don't forget the microphone on the water tower. Yeah, Tina, we went back to that the other night just thinking about it. We heard nothing more from the photography group in Facebook who said they had the camera out there at 2 a.m. and caught the naked woman running. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, they could have been gagged really early on. Could they be the informant, the secret informant? Jen's husband, I think it was either sent a text or got a text saying that the man did not come in the house. Then Jen did a Google search at 2:30 a.m. Trust me, I know there's lots of sketchy things, so I'm not. If there's people, we certainly look at all the evidence here. Hold on. Annie Ruler says, I feel like the tap I saw cracked a light. John's injuries did not match the tail light location to me. 227 Google. Too much sunshine for me on Karen Read. How long has the FBI been involved in that case? Because I believe I wonder if they're still overseeing it or if there's still an investigation going on into that. And it goes says, exactly, Annie. You got to listen to someone who has 617 in their title when you're talking about the Karen Read trial. Yeah, someone said that there is footage of her hitting John's car that morning while backing up or something that I do not know about. Hold on, I lost my... There's like so many comments, you guys. I can't... You just not... Okay, I'm just going to put... So Heather sent me some videos, obviously. Okay, comment. We just see. Is this the Loach video? I got the Loach video. That's weird. Hold on. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. No, I didn't. I have to straighten this up first. Okay, here we go. News Nation. Give me 1 second. Thank you very much, Heather. Okay. Oh my gosh, I have so many playlists. I saved it to a playlist. Hold on. My God. All right, we're trying this another way. Give me 1 second, you guys. Sorry, you guys.
You know, it's really hard to get.
I'm sorry. I feel bad for Ashley Banfield. I paused her face like that. Sorry, Ashley. All right. Thank you, Heather. Thank you to Heather Fitzgerald for this, you guys.
Get inside the head of a killer, but it might be possible to put yourself in his footsteps. Earlier, we looked at the route that a killer would have had to take if he were driving to the crime scene. But what if he arrived on foot? What if he left the same way? News Nation's Brian Enton retraced how he may have disappeared into the night on
I know what you're showing us now, Heather, and I've got one too. Well, no, we're just going to listen to this one.
foot.
Ashley, at the beginning of the show, we showed you how the killer may have drove in, what the roads are like in this area.
I don't know what just happened. Hold on. That's weird.
Foot. What if he left the same way? News Nation's Brian Enton retraced how he may have disappeared into the night on foot.
Ashley, at the beginning of the show, we showed you how the killer may have drove in, what the roads are like in this area, and there's only one way in and one way out. But if you were on foot, it's easier to get in and out. Not so much from the back, because I showed you at the beginning of the show, there's a wooded area, there's sort of a steep incline back there, and then more houses, and there's these fences. Some of the other houses on the side are fenced in. But if you left the front of the house, you wouldn't have to walk down the road the way we drove in. You could cut through, and this is what a lot of the students do that we've seen coming and going. There's this little walkway.
See right there, we're just going to go back a little bit. And I really like 12 Gauge's comment, because it's kind of exactly what I was thinking, is that's where he could have shed his clothes. The other thing, though, is we see the luminol up at Linda Lane when he comes from the high side of the house. Right there. So if there's evidence there, maybe they're just checking for evidence, I don't know. But I was also thinking he could have done it there right before he comes into the light, and so to speak, and goes towards his car. But I agree with you. I observed the same thing. Let me put that other thing back up.
Through, and this is what a lot of the students do, that one way in and one way out. But if you were on foot, it's easier to get in and out. Not so much from the back, because I showed you at the beginning of the show, there's a wooded area, there's sort of a steep incline back there, and then more houses, and there's these fences. Some of the other houses on the side are fenced in. But if you let...
You know what's interesting, Tina, too? Tina says, I would think if they found more evidence of someone trying to get in versus someone who knows how to get in, at least helps them. The other thing 12 Gauge showed me when I was on a show I hadn't seen before is, so I just showed you evidence number 4. The note, the house was the target note, allegedly. But evidence number 3, believe it or not, is a boot print, which, you know, I didn't realize they had until the other day. I don't know. He says, most of what we are given is 90% not appropriate to be used in trial, so we can only speculate. Absolutely. Like every single piece of this evidence will be debated with Ann Taylor and will be decided if it's admissible in court. Everything we're doing is speculating, and we don't even know. Well, I was going to say, we don't even know when they got onto Brian, but I'm contradicting myself because I'm about to show you a segment where I think they know when they got onto Brian. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, shoot.
The buildings,
Guys.
and they come out to this that we've showed the way we drove, and there's in and out. Not so much from the back, because I showed you at the beginning of the show, there's a wooded area, there's sort of a steep incline back there, and then more houses, and there's these fences. Some of the other houses on the side are fenced in. But if you left the front of the house, you wouldn't have to walk down the road the way we drove in. You could cut through, and this is what a lot of the students do, that we've seen coming and going. There's this little walkway that cuts through between a big apartment building and a couple of houses on this side. And this is the way a lot of the kids go to class or go to the fraternity houses. They walk down this little pathway in between the buildings, and they come out to this parking lot right here. So you bypass that whole road that we drove in on. and you end up here in this parking lot, and then you've got access to the main drag here. You've got the field, band field, which we've been talking about, and then there's the Sigma Chi house. So you're pretty much out at the campus just within maybe like 30 seconds by taking that little shortcut, Ashley.
Brian Enton, just absolutely fascinating. Thank you for that. And thank you, everyone, for being with us through the breaking news tonight. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your...
Okay, I'm gonna go grab something. Let me just put up a little screensaver. I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so I want to show you guys something. I've been working on a video about this, but the issue is I have yet to figure out exactly the news station this is or exactly the date. But I am going to show you something that was snagged off of the internet by one of my diligent subscribers who did a really good job scooping it. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen this. I'm like really excited to show it to you. So again, I'm trying to verify the news station and the date, and I haven't done it yet, but dun, 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 sorry. And then I have a few things I'll show you on X, but I just have a few more things to present to you tonight. Okay, so I just uploaded it to my profile while we were talking. And before I show you this, I feel like I remember seeing this. By the way, this is my X page, and if you haven't been there, please go follow me on X. God forbid if anything ever happens on YouTube, it's a great place where you can find me. And X is nice because you can put up just like small, quick posts. It's really great, and there's some really great creators on X. With that said, I'm going to set up this. So we keep talking about when did they know about BK? Like, how long had they been tailing BK? A conversation that I've had with True Crime Colt before is, did they even, did they suspect BK when he was driving home to Pennsylvania? Were those controlled stops, or were they random? And I think that this is a really interesting segment that clears that up. And I'm making the video for it. I've gotten some still clips, but this is basically the search. Well, I'll play it for yourself and then we can discuss it. And I've got like 30 new comments in the chat, so I'm so sorry I'm behind you guys. But here, let me get myself out of the screen and take a listen. And like I said, I just posted it on my X page if you want to go check it out or download it for yourself over there. Let me give credit. This was given to me by Mikey S., one of my subscribers. You also might see him in the chat as My Keys. So thanks again, Mikey, for your help.
By layer, that was a significant find.
And police found him.
Mr. Koberger, as with any other criminal defendant, is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. So that remains the case, but certainly for the investigation and the interest of the investigators in building the case layer by layer, that was a significant find.
This search warrant confirms Brian Koberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believe
when police found him.
Mr. Koberger, as with any other criminal defendant, is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. So that remains the case, but certainly for the investigation and the interest of the investigators in building the case layer by layer, that was a significant find.
this search warrant confirms Brian Koberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believe
when police found him.
Okay, I'm going to pause that.
Mr. Koberger, as with any other criminal defendant,
That's the thing
is
about
presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty
I just
in a
dropped,
court of law. So that remains the case.
I just dropped a link in the chat because, like, honestly, I wasn't going to do like a big stream tonight, but I only had like several things to present. But I figured I'd leave I'd open up the stage if anyone wanted to join me, because there's so many people in the chat and everyone's got such high energy tonight. I don't mind staying live streaming for a little bit longer. The only legitimate part of the PCA is the 19 minutes. Wow, I'm so behind on your chat. Without the 4chan, the fact that she... I have a couple more things on X I want to show you. So I'm going to go to my bookmarks. I am like obsessed with this Ozempic story. Like, I really want to do a story. I know it's not true crime, but like, I am obsessed with Hollywood's obsession with Ozempic. And like, that's what I have bookmarked here is like, they were, not to change the subject, you have Scott Disick accidentally has all of his all weight loss drugs in the fridge. Oh, I want to tell you. Okay, thank you for asking. I do want to tell you guys what I thought about the hearing. Hold on. Let me take this down. Oops. I wonder if I can like... All right, so thank you for asking what I thought of the hearing. So again, I'm not a legal professional. Everything I say is just like my observations as a normal person. So the first thing is when they first called the police officer to the stand. I think it's very intense and dramatic that they're doing so. That's the first thing, my first observation about the hearing. And I'll tell you how it played out for me. First, with the first questions that Ann Taylor asked the police officer, my first reaction when he spoke was I was like, okay, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. And then as she went on, I remember my husband even looked at me and he said something along the lines of she's tearing him apart. And I was like, yeah, she definitely is. And then by the end of the hearing, I felt like due to the answers of the police officer, there was somewhat of a damage control done. And I actually felt like it was a neutral, like it just seemed like a neutral situation by the time I was done. Now, again, I have no legal background. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I would love to know what you guys think. And then I like this comment. AT is a legal beast. I wouldn't want to oppose her. I wouldn't want to be on the other end of the courtroom with that woman. I think that no LE tasked with producing results for the state to use when seeking GJ indictment would ever not save, not to log in or delete. Why wasn't the work done once saved? I don't know. But there is a question I would have, which is the final product. Does that have some sort of explanation as to, like, do you need the workup in order to understand the final product, or does the final product show all the information? I don't know. I have more info on that I'm not prepared to present it in this live stream. This one says, also search for U of I coaches. There are a lot of articles on them and how they treated their students. That reminds me, there's a missing person in Moscow, Idaho tonight. Let me just find their picture, you guys. The FBI agent Koffendorfer said that we should all, who are covering the Idaho 4 case, share it on our pages. So I'm going to share it with you, and maybe you can share it with others. It's this gentleman right here. Hold on. How do I get it full screen? Okay, this is him. Oh my gosh, I'm not sharing it. This is him. And he's missing out of Moscow, Idaho. Let me read it. It says, please use your missing person in Pullman, Moscow vicinity. Please use your platforms to help find Robert Michael Keller Sr., nicknamed Bob. Some people call him this. His date of birth is July 14th, 1986. He is 37 years old. He is a male. He is white. Ugh. His eye color, his hair color is Bronx. That's interesting. His eye color is hazel. That must be a typo. He has tan skin now. He's 200 pounds, 6 feet. He was wearing tennis shoes, light blue faded denim shorts, dark gray t-shirt. He has tattoo. Keller established 1986 on his upper right arm. I think it's his right. And then he has a white fence tat on his left upper arm. He has a scar on his stomach. Let's see. You can call the Moscow PD, the Pullman PD. So there's, I guess that, so there's a plate number. So they're looking for a red Toyota Scion hatchback with plate number 6C as in cat, 9D dog, A apple, 217. I'm going to show his picture one more time, you guys. So many comments. Okay, and then deception dismantle. Thank you for saying you share it. Just all the creators who are watching, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, deception dismantle. Oh, Rolo's here. Rolo says, I had another big UC. I've been told y'all. What the heck? I've been said since day one. This case against Brian is straight fabricated. I don't create snapshots with game console for cast viz data. WTF? You retrieve. Good to see you, Rolo. She has you blocked. Oh, sweetheart. I'll repost it on my page. I'm the Swamp Rose. I wanted to put official Swamp Rose, but you can't fit that many letters on X. So the Swamp Rose, and I'll go repost it right now. Let me just see. Thank you guys for caring. It only has 24 reposts, so that'd be great if you could. It's also in my bookmarks. Oh, this is a good one I'll share with you. So you guys, Elon Musk has this post out. I've already put my thoughts to him, but not to go changing the subject 20 million times, but Elon put this post out a couple days ago on X, and he says, I have $42 billion to spend. What company should I buy next? I don't know what you guys would think if you could influence Elon, but I told him to buy Disney, and I said he should buy more media. Okay, Annie. That's so funny because Heather and I were just talking about the Stingray. Do you guys know about the Stingray? It's a big subject. I want to show you the video, but it's copyrighted music. So a lot of people believe, let me take down X while I talk about this. So like a lot of people believe that there could have been some interceptors put up in the neighborhoods to, well, I'll just show you. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I made a slideshow about it the other day, so why not show you? Ugh. All right. You guys ever wondered why there are blurred trees? Wait, can you see that? Have you guys ever wondered why there's blurred trees in these Google pics of the King and Queen Road neighborhood? And it's not just trees, it's houses, it's signs, it's like randoms. I've got an answer for this, but just bear with me. And if you look at some of the, so like if you look on Google Maps where the different blurs are and you connect lines, what's interesting is they're not chaotic. Like they're not random. Like these are straight lines, like it's a geometrical shape, which if you were just a layman making assumptions, you would say, okay, well, if it's not chaotic, it's man-made. If it's a straight line, it's man-made. That's not a natural thing. That doesn't occur in nature and that doesn't occur in chaos, okay? I talk a lot. Like we have let me show you this letter because I'll tie it into this before I show you the next slide. So we've got this letter from attorney Andrew Myers that Steve G recently sent him. And he says, Kaylee's phone went offline right before 3 a.m. What time did BK's phone go offline? Right around 3 a.m. What about issues calling 911 the next day? Super late 911 call. It's kind of weird, huh? Okay, I'm getting to it. Hold on. Annie, you had to start this, didn't you? Why did Google camouflage trees at King Queen Road intersection in 2021 after the overgrowth was cut? Something was showing. Rolo, you've seen it down at the Banfield. You've thought you've seen faces blurred, but I challenge you, it wasn't a face that was blurred. I hope you're still here, Rolo. I challenge you that it wasn't a face that you saw blurred in those bushes. It was something else. In this article from the Idaho Statesman, they talk about police secret cell phone surveillance tools that also can block calls by the innocent. So like when police want to surveil a drug neighborhood, they can put in these little mini Stingray interceptors. So when somebody makes a phone call, instead of it bouncing off a tower, like the whole Stingray stuff that Stingray analyzed, instead of it doing that, it actually bounces off this intercepting Stingray. And one of the problems they have is that when somebody tries to call 911, it drops the call. Sometimes it can just drop calls. Now, it wasn't just BK's phone that was offline at 3 a.m. It was Kaylee's. It was also all the systems down in that area. And then here's this article from the Idaho Tribune saying the area where the 4 University of Idaho students were seen unalived was a known party area. And then people go there to get D's. Here's another blur on a house. And you can see, like we were talking about the 710 camera up there to the left of that big brown building. Now, what is this? This is law enforcement. So when people get these interceptors, okay, law enforcement basically signs like a non-disclosure. So they can never say that they purchased them from the company. Furthermore, it also says that these can actually be used as confidential informants. Or when law enforcement does use the information on these, it's treated and worded such as a confidential informant. And so I can't play the sound on the video because it's a pretty badass song, but it's copyrighted. But I think since we're talking about it, I'm going to play the video just so you guys can hear it from the person who actually did the reporting, because I'm not the one who figured this out by any stretch of the imagination. And I mean, it's a hard thing to report on because you don't want to think that it interfered with the investigation, but it would explain why there's a lot of quietness, secrecy, and what the heck is up with all these trees being blurred. This would explain it, you know. All right, give me a second. I'm going to pull up the video. just want to say hello to Chaos Sector. Thanks for being here. You know, I know somebody who personally I could try and find out an answer. Let's go back to Chaos Sector's question. Chaos Sector, I don't think I got the chance to tell you how much I appreciate your support, by the way. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since you came back. Since I came back. Whoops. That was the wrong one. Basically, so Chaos Sector, I know somebody, I want to say it was Jeff, actually spoke with the Linda Lane, the person who owns the camera at Linda Lane. So Jeff, if you're watching, maybe you might know. Chaos Sector was wondering who originally got the leaked footage. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Jeff could give us an answer to like who to contact, or I don't know. It's a good question for Jeff, I think. All right, so I've got this video pulled up just because Jeff is, I think Jeff was the one who knew the person who had the footage. So these were sent to me by Lisa. part 1 of 3 videos. They go into more detail. So I have trouble playing it because it's super controversial. It's super provocative. But it is what it is. And hold on. I didn't know that. All right, I will. So obviously Ghost and on 617, we're Boston girls, and she's saying there's a case of this right here in Boston, obviously. For those, I just so you know, when I repeat things out loud, it's because some people listen to these without watching the screen. So if I'm being redundant, sorry. It makes me wonder, or maybe it is me praying maybe they got wind and hit, but did not know who or where. Wind of a hit and knew, excuse me. I wonder when that was. I'm sorry you're going through that drama, Rolo. You just do Rolo and don't worry about anyone else because you got a good thing going on. Yeah, they try to hide it from the judges and everything. So what I find is interesting is like the way that they talk about the Stingray in law enforcement is as a confidential informant. So, none of us know what that means. None of us even know if that means a person. None of us knows if they're referencing the IGG, but within the last 5 to 10 years. Okay, bingo. That's the boom, And I mean, there's 3 videos. See, I'm not monetized right now, so I can play this music. I'm gonna cut it out afterwards. But I could play the other 2 if you want. I mean, they go into pretty deep. I'm just gonna say the person who sent me that also sent it to Drip Drop, and I speculate. I mean, this is just all speculation. He obviously doesn't watch me. But the person who sent it to me told me she sent it to Drip Drop too. And I kept thinking right before he stopped, I mean, I know he's put a couple things out about Idaho, Florida, but right before he stopped talking about it, he did a segment on these blurred trees. And then I remember Pia saying one time in her live stream, when Gia and I were in her live stream, she said that Drip Drop answered one of her DMs and he said, "Have you solved the Idaho 4?" And she goes, "No." And he goes, "I have." And that was during his hiatus from YouTube. Chaos Sector says they won't release any calls due to it contradicting the lone killer narrative. Kaylee and Maddie's calls were emergency calls, which were prior to BK's alleged arrival. It could explain so much. Why so many calls in a row? They kept getting dropped. Why no 911 call? They kept getting dropped. Why did Kaylee's phone go offline? Why did Kaylee's phone go offline at 2:57? Now, WSU Mom Kim says that she thinks it ran out of batteries. She thinks she remembers Steve saying that, but it's just weird. And BK's phone and all of the systems at WSU and U of I were out. So weird. Yes, this is the one. I have 2 more. Why don't I just show you guys the other videos? And then we, since I'm playing these, Christy sent me a tribute to Maddie. And like I said, since I'm not monetized, why don't I just play the tribute? It's got a country song in the background, but it'll be a nice little tribute we'll do at the end to Maddie for her birthday. Add myself to the stage. I just thought I'd add to this where Deceptions Dismantled, Echoes of Clarity said, but if BK's phone was out, he was near the house. Well, I don't know. And I'm not, I mean, look at the extent. I'll go back to the map. Don't forget, both WASU and U of I, quote unquote, systems were down. So, I mean, that would probably cover the span that we're talking about. Those are within 10 to 12 minutes of each other. So WASU and U of I, both of their systems were down. I'm just making a connection. And hold on, let me just show you the map. That was what I was going to show you. So, I mean, that's a pretty, who knows? I don't know. Let's bring this show back. I'll shut up.
That manu-
This is awesome. So Pete is Murder Metal Mayhem. If you guys don't know, I really like Pete. My husband watches him. He turned me on or showed me who Pete was. And so I guess Pete had this creator on last night. So Pete's one step ahead of me on this. But by all means, please go check out Murder Metal Mayhem. Okay. And then there was one more. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments, you guys. All right. Hold on. Are you talking about at the band field? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, because 19 minutes later. I'm assuming you're talking about the band field. I just want to make sure I know which people running you're talking about. There's several different people running, some with clothes, some without clothes. And so Justin is not Dot. Braden is Dot, and Braden and Justin are different people, as far as I know. Well, I've seen pictures of both of them. They are different people. And I could be mistaken. You know, I'm no expert. because we saw her dusting, like right, I think she was dusting there. I don't know what she was doing. It does look like fingerprint evaluation to me from my normal eyes. And so what I was thinking is, could this be an indication that the perp left through the front of the house? Let me show you this. I've got so many tabs open. This is getting confusing. So could this mean that as IH? I don't like saying people's names on here, but the neighbor. That's an interesting comment. Before in the body cam. Oh, okay. You guys, it's freezing in my office. I have to shut these windows if I'm going to keep going. So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to play some music though while I do that. And my dog needs to go out in a couple minutes anyway, so I'm gonna probably shut down at the 2-hour mark. But let me get back to this. I'm just looking where I left off. Oh, here we go. Rolo says to at the Banfield, invisible AF. Okay, that wasn't what I thought it said. They call him Streak. Better watch out. I don't want to get trolled. I don't know what you're referring to, Miranda. Okay, Chaos Sector says the camera across the street facing the home is important, like the 1112 security camera. It shows all of the traffic coming in and out of the neighborhood. I think Chaos, you're referring to. I think you're either referring to the 500 cam or the 712 cam right here. And if I show this one more time, essentially, this is what Chaos is talking about. I mean, it's not going to be exactly like this because somebody took this tour right in front of that, took this photograph right in front of the house. So it would be up a little bit. So like where the curve is, the camera would be up a little bit from that, but I'm just going to show you the angle. So you would see all but the backyard. And then Chaos refers to the 1112 camera. And I believe that's the one that might show into the backyard. Or we were talking about Dot earlier. Allegedly the balcony that allegedly, Dot was out on. Dot, and I say that in quotations. We're not referring to Dot as the actual person, but if they had a camera, that would show into the backyard too. All we know about these cameras is what we heard early on from the reporting of Chronicles of a Libya. So let me move this tour around so you guys can get a good view. So the camera angle would be kind of like that, a little bit farther up. And if I turn this like this, you can see where the camera would be located, because you can see the 500 apartments and the 712 apartments where that would be. And this website, you guys, is it's KUULA. I'm just telling you, it is a wonderful website if you want to reference the actual house, because they do it by floor. So like if, for instance, I'm just showing this to you, and this was sent to me by Mikey S. If you want to like look at anything in the house, you can go in and it tells you, like, you got the utility, the shower, the toilet. You can see where the entrance would be. You can see the extra bedroom. You can see the extra bedroom. You can see Bethany's bedroom. We can go up to the second floor. So you got the living room, the good vibes sign, the bedroom. It's a pretty great great website if you're trying to get your bearings about something. The living room. Kitchen, I'm just doing this to show what the sliding glass door would be. So again, that website, KUULA. Okay. Wow, there's like 21 new comments. Yeah, streak is get a clue. Hi, Chief. Oh, good. Jeff, you're here. Jeff, we were wondering where the original leaked Linda Lane footage, which website it was leaked to, or where it first appeared. Like, all I can remember is that Powerpuff's website, but people were asking earlier if you could drop it in the chat if you remember that. And I can't recall if, I don't know, somebody said they were in contact with the person who owned that camera, but I don't know if it was you. And sorry to put you on the spot. You don't have to answer anything, obviously. If it was DL, he lives across the street. Just shorts and tank. I don't 100% understand your comment, but I'm sure the rest of the people watching do. And they can answer for you in the chat. Whoops. Okay, so now you're clarifying an article about Project Sea Glass from WSU. I'm looking it up because I think this might have something to do with the Stingray that we were just talking about. Oh, bringing transparency to, yeah, you are so right. Okay. All right, I'm going to read this to you guys. This is actually, thank you, Miranda, I appreciate it. So I have an article I want to share with you. Thank you for being right on point with that. So I will take this banner that is scrolling at the bottom off. But this is what it has to do with what this Michael Addario photography has been talking about. Okay. So this article is, I guess this is by seaglass.cs.washington.ed. And it says modern cell phones are vulnerable to attacks by governments and hackers using the rogue cell phone transmitters, blah, 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 blah. Their surveillance devices can precisely locate phones and surveillance and sometimes eavesdrop on communications, send spam, or inject malware into phones. Recent leaks and public records requests have revealed that the U.S. law enforcement in Baltimore, Milwaukee, New York, Tacoma, Anaheim, Tucson, and others have used IMS eye catchers intensively in vehicles and aircraft to identify and locate suspects. These powerful surveillance devices have often been used with little to no judicial oversight to provide transparency and accountability. We need independent information on who uses them, how often, and when. So there you go. Jeff says, I got to be honest, I don't think I can believe that's a camera at 712 until I can see it a little bit better. Okay, Jeff, I'll email you the pictures, but I'll do it tomorrow because I'm not sure if I'll do it either tonight. In the next 24 hours, I'll email you what you got so you can examine them. I actually have the video they came from. I'll show you because it was clipped from an actual soundbite on November 22nd or November 19th that year. So it was a reporter doing a drive-by, and that's where Mikey found it. And so he cut it frame by frame, and that's where we got those pictures. But I'll send you everything so you can take a look at it. But I know what I saw. Whether they have the camera or it's submitted. I mean, did you see this? Maybe my thumbnail's not that good, but did you see this, Jeff? Jeff, you've been a moderator on my channel for months and you've never used any of the features. We don't get a ton of trolls. I think that's why. Hey, AR, I was just thinking about you today. I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you and Jen are doing good. And I watched, AR has some really great videos out. Please take a look. Robert had an amazing video. I actually text you, Robert, to see if you wanted to let me use it in this. Robert put out a video and it was interesting. He actually talked about AR in it. And it did really well. I'm going to take this down if you haven't seen it yet. Basically, Robert wanted to pose the question. He doesn't understand why Ashlyn Couch was coming out to speak after all this time. And he just says it wasn't sitting well with me. I'm paraphrasing Robert's video. He said, it just wasn't sitting well with me. I couldn't figure it out. So I contacted my buddy AR and I said, AR, what do you think about this? And Robert, and basically AR said, I believe it's narrative. And then Robert did a whole video on narrative and how it applies, and how after this long having somebody speak out it's just a form of controlling the narrative, the way things are going. So I thought it was a great video. Please check out Robert's channel. Who gave Jeff a wrench? I gave Jeff a wrench like back in January or February. I had no mods for, I don't know, up until a certain point. And then I think Beth was my first mod. And then I made everyone who appeared on my show a mod. Just because I figured you could help out. I made like Ashley Gilliard one, just anyone who can help out with like who might get hateful comments or trolls or need to deal with it. I give them a wrench so they can just deal with it. And because it's nice to have people help me out. Thanks, AR. Hey, Chief. There is not the person it was leaked to, rather the person who obtained it from the landlord. That person is also key. So Powerpuffs, as far as Too Fast for Fleece remembers, yep, Powerpuffs started it, and then within a couple of hours, Veritas. And you know what? Now that I remember it, right, Jeff? I'm saying Powerpuffs, but you referred me to Veritas originally. Now that I recall, it was so long ago. I mean, we're talking like 8 months ago. I was making notes still on the original when it was taken down. It seems like forever ago. Are you talking about me, Rollo? Come on. She don't accuse the real guilty ones. Only BK being Papa Rogers and Enon and him roomies. I hope you're not talking about me. I'm objective. I don't accuse anyone. I try not to show my bias. Hi, Red Riding Hood. So the only thing I have left is that tribute video for Maddie's birthday that Christy sent me. Unless, Robert, you want me to... Hold on. Yeah, please don't look at your phone while you're driving, Jeff. Just listen. I'll read the comments out loud. Yeah, Jeff, let me know if you want me to show that video. That one's about, I would show another 10-minute video, and then I have the one that Christy sent for Maddie. See, you keep saying it was Jack's porch. I thought it was Hunter's porch. Oh no, it was Jack's porch. That's right. All right, I'm just sitting here reading the chat, and I know you guys don't want to watch me while I do that. Robert. All right, Robert's not getting back to me. So I'm just going to play our last video, which is the tribute to Maddie, and then I'll do an outro for you guys with the pictures that I used tonight. Let me just pull up Discord. Okay. Oh, Jeff, I got this from Mikey S. And I have a couple more pictures similar to this. I can show you the exact spot. Hold on. Let me go back one slide. See? It's the edge of the Linda Lane apartments, or this Linda Lane? Yeah, so it's the edge of the Linda Lane apartment. So you can see the high side of the house where the little circle is. I don't know if you can see my cursor when I move it around, but so to the left of that building, you can see the 1122 King Road home. And then obviously the lines connect. So you can see where the arrow is and the line connects. That's where the police are doing the luminol. And then on the bottom, you can see that the King Road home has got a square around it. I'm talking like a robot. I'm sorry. So that'll give you your bearings about what you're seeing here. And what's interesting is before that, Jeff, if you weren't here, we were discussing how intensely these pictures are studying Maddie's window. And they've got like a little piece of investigative tape on it looks like it's the inside, which is really scary because, I mean, I just was listing out some of the things that it could imply. Could the person have shed their clothes there? Could that be blood spatter? Could the person, I mean, this is really scary, but could Maddie have hid in her room and the person came through there and tried to escape out the window? Could the perpetrator try to have originally gone in through that window? Because if you look at the one before that, it looks like she's looking for at fingerprints. We, have the reports of the door being open at 8:30. So could the perpetrator come out the door, shed the kill kit, maybe got some DNA on that window? But then again, he couldn't have shed all of his clothes because there was evidence marker number 3 was a shoe print, a boot print on the high side of the house. And if Papa Rogers is Ellie or the perpetrator, Papa Rogers states, somebody's calling me in Discord. Hold on. Oh, it's Robert. Oh, Robert said I could show it. Oh, great. Okay, thank you. Sorry, Robert. I didn't realize you messaged me in Discord. So we'll show Robert's video just because it's really good, and obviously so did the rest of YouTube thought so too. They gave him a lot of views. So anyway, that's what I was saying. those are my thoughts on this. Oh yeah, so I was saying Papa Rogers. Papa Rogers, if it's Ellie or the perpetrator, it means that there was blood spatter on the high side of the house. So I don't know. Those are all my thoughts. Strong Bros, can you show the other blue light one from the walkway across Ann Taylor's apartments, the path they took? Bolo, is that a joke or did I have the picture you really wanted me to show? I can't tell with you sometimes. Yeah, good point, Chaos. Oh, Leslie, Billy, thanks for being here. Nice. I'm glad you got to be with family this weekend. I'm happy to head back to New Hampshire next weekend to see my family. Seems like every year somebody's graduating from something. So get to head back to New Hampshire. I'm happy about that. So I'd really like to show you guys Robert's video. I'm going to pull it up in the background. Okay. So it's this one right here. It's called Idaho 4 Review. And the thumbnail says Idaho 4 Revealed. It's a 15-minute video. We're just going to play the whole thing, you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? I've been thinking about this all day long, and why, after 17 months, has Ashlyn Couch resurfaced and is speaking out? And it's been bugging me all day, so I just text my good friend AR and said, can I ask you a question? He said, what's up? And I'm like, why, after 17 months, has Ashlyn Couch resurfaced and speaking out? And he said the most impactful word, narrative. It's all part of the narrative. And I totally believe him. You know, why, after 17 months, somebody that moved out of the house, who wasn't in the house at the time of the murders, I mean, yes, she was friends with the people in the house. Why speak out after 17 months? It's all part of their narrative. Oh, look what this person did to these 4 beautiful college students. So what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to reach out to one of the former roommates who technically still had a lease, but just wasn't living there. And she's wanting to do something special for Maddie, because she never got a chance to give her one last hug. And she's doing all the what ifs. What if I got a hold of her and we went out? What if? And I mean, a lot of times we do the what ifs if something bad happens to somebody we care about. But couldn't she have stepped up way sooner than 17 months? It's kind of odd to me that after 17 months of silence, she decides, okay, hey, I'm stepping up. And she made the oddest statement in an interview that she did. The statement was, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's outside your house. That could have been me if I was still living there. Yes, I understand, Ashlyn. That could have been you if you were still living there, but you weren't living there. Maddie, Katie, Xana, and Ethan lost their life in a gruesome tragedy. But you texting Maddie, are you okay? It just seems kind of odd. You know, I mean, if she would have texted after she found out and texted, "Are you okay?" I could understand that, but she didn't know what happened when she texted, "Are you okay?" Then she found out after the fact, after the text. Now, see, a lot of these college students, like Ashlyn Couch and Dylan Mortensen, and they're going to get torn apart by Ann Taylor on the witness stand if Dylan even testifies. And you never know. Ashlyn might come forward and testify for the state. And I saw something tonight on Nancy Grace that really, really ticked me off. She was sitting there through half of the show making fun of Brian Koberger by stating, "Oh, well, he must be guilty. He was wearing rubber gloves after the fact." So she was sitting there during her show wearing blue surgical rubber gloves. "Oh, hey, you want some coffee? Oh, I don't want to get my fingerprints on this. Oh, let me take these off." Yeah. That was the most sickingest thing I've ever seen. And she's supposed to be a media journalist. She has her own show on YouTube and on MSM.
Yes.
I never want to watch that show again. After I saw her make fun of Brian because for wearing rubber gloves. And then asking, well, why didn't he get more of his prints on the knife sheath? And then they had some retired expert saying, well, he could have wiped it down, but failed to get the button snap. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, just because Wanda brought this up, and I don't want to be really bad. I have to let my dog out because we've been streaming for like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I'm going to hit play, and you're in good hands with Robert. So I've heard this before. It's all really appropriate and relevant. So I'm just going to let this play, and I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
I'm getting tired of the media narrative that this man's guilty before we even go to trial. None of us know if he's guilty. None of us know if he's innocent. A lot of us, are praying that he's innocent and is exonerated. But in the mainstream media, he's automatically guilty. Lock him up, put him to death. And then she was also making fun of Ann Taylor, calling Ann Taylor a whiny bee. Because Ann Taylor's not getting what she wants. But yeah, the whole Ashland Couch thing is just suspicious to me. I agree with my friend AR. It's all feeding the narrative that they've got going on there in the Idaho case and in the state of Idaho. It's all a narrative. They all want us to believe that this man is guilty when majority of us don't believe he's guilty at all. Yes, Ashland Couch is friends with Emma Bailey. Well, you don't hear her hiding her hair of Emma Bailey. She was friends with the people in that house, but you don't hear her going on a media tour or anything like that. She's living her life. So why can't Ashland Couch live her life and stay out of the limelight? Even Ashland Couch's mom is getting into it. Oh, well, we want to do something special for those poor lost and beautiful souls that lost their life in that house. That's all well and good and wonderful that you guys want to do that. But couldn't you guys done that earlier than 17 months? There's just something's off here, guys. Something's very off with this case. It's been off from day one. It really has. It's been off from day one. I'm starting to wonder about this case. And then at the end of the month, on May 30th, they're going to have a hearing for the IGG, and yes, it's going to be Becca Barlow and Leah Larkin. But they're going to be doing it on Zoom because Ann Taylor just dropped she just dropped a new document requesting for Becca Barlow and Leah Larkin. Now, here's something interesting about Leah Larkin. She's known as the DNA geek. But what Becca Barlow is best for she got her science degree from the University of Berkeley, California, Berkeley, in genetics. She pursued her scientific and academic interests and attained a master's degree in genetics and developmental biology, and which should help this case. And Becca Barlow, and Leah Larkin has got her biology degree from University of Texas, where she got her PhD in that. And she also got her DNA study from University of Texas at Austin. So we have two well-qualified people doing the the IGG. Now, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was either Becca Barlow or Leah Larkin, where the FBI showed up at their doorstep over their testimony in this case. Here, can someone let me know down in the comments which one it was? Was it Becca Barlow or was it Leah Larkin? But this case is supposed to start next year. But I doubt it's going to start next year. I think more than likely it might start in 2026 or 2027.
You know,
Now, so far,
I will point that out. It's interesting you say that, Heather, because if you look at it, and I don't know if Ashland has anything to do with these fundraisers, but if you look at some of the fundraisers, like I noticed a while back that right around this time of year, they were having some different fundraisers for that featured Maddie and Kaylee. One of them was like some sort of golf tournament. My puppy's being cute. One was like some sort of golf tournament, and it was very expensive. But they were raffling off money and they were fundraising. So there was that, and it did have to do with their birthdays. That was the other thing I was going to say. It did coincide with their birthdays, and one of them was right around this time, and they were doing like a silent auction and stuff. So it could be to promote those charities. That's a really good point.
the defense has spent in this case, as well as the college, $3 million has already been spent on this case. $3 million. That's a lot of money, and the case is only 17 months old. Imagine how much more is going to be spent if this case drags out until 2026 or 2027. It's a lot of money, guys.
Well, I got this.
It really is. I'm not too sure, Dilla's going to testify, even though, she is the crux of the PCA and her description of 5'10" or taller, athletic but not muscularly built, bushy eyebrows.
So I just want to say, Robert sent me a text. I wish I could show it to you guys. He sent me a picture of, he sent it to me in Discord, a picture of him and his Chihuahua, not to, get off subject here, but it's really cute. And I have an affection for Chihuahuas. I lost my Chihuahua last February. It's been a year in February, and my Chihuahua was 19. I'm just saying, they're good companions. Let's hear it for the Chihuahuas.
That's basically a nondescript version of somebody on the college campus itself. And I'm with Ann Taylor here. I'd like to know how they got Brian in their crosshairs. I really would. I really would like to know how they got Brian in their crosshairs. That's something we will never know. It's really not. It's something we will never know. But like always, guys, like, subscribe, and comment on my channel. Hit that bell notification for any new uploads. And make sure you share this.
That was a great video. Thank you, Robert. So we have something in Discord I want to show you guys that I was going to show you before Robert gave us permission to see that. And as we started talking about at the beginning of the video, at the beginning of the live stream, today is Maddie's birthday. So it would be fitting if we just spent a moment to just give like a little tribute to Maddie. And I can play some music because I'm not monetized at this time. So I can play some music. I'll just have to take it down afterwards. So this beautiful tribute was sent to me earlier by Christy in my Discord. So I'm just going to share it with you guys. And just take a moment to remember the victims right now, and particularly Maddie, because she really did seem to have that like joy of life, that joie de vie. She seemed like a really sweet person. I mean, that was really short. I do have some beautiful footage of Maddie. Of course, I'm blabbing in the background. So if I turned the volume down and showed you mine. I'm just going to play some music while I'm pulling it up. So just as a tribute, I thought I made this video a while ago, and of course it's about the case, but the footage of Maddie is so beautiful because it's her TikToks, and it's also some TikToks she was featured in, and she just looks like her best. And I just thought we'd show it. I can turn down the volume of it so we're not listening.
It was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of like more mentioning, like motioning to Kaylee too, like who was right next to her. So you could tell that like they obviously all were trying to keep Kaylee safe. They just said, yeah, you know, one of our friends and motioning to Kaylee that she'd been stalked recently. And it's not just a one-off thing, that this is apparently something that Kaylee had tons of issues with. Apparently she always had somebody who's constantly walking behind her like that. So, and it was more so at nighttime when they were out there drinking and stuff like that. The only reason I would assume the corner club is because
place to park a car, dark, no ring cameras anywhere. Nobody would notice anything if a car was parked up there for a killer to go down and do what he needed to do.
Okay. Well, oh, and there's so many comments. Giving love to Maddie. And I think the conversation could probably go on for a lot longer. But oh, and Mikey showed up. You guys just give Mikey some love. He definitely provided us with a ton of material for this live stream tonight, and we can't thank you enough for your due diligence. Mikey, Jeff was asking about those photos that you left, those photos you received from the 712 camera. Yeah, thank you for everything. So I'm going to play a little bit of outro and show you guys some pictures and play you some music. Thank you for being here, and God bless you, and justice for the Idaho 4.